I was almost engaged, and it basically fell apart when he came to live in a studio apartment in New York with me
Mhm.
during the pandemic. Um, so a lot of things came up during that time, and then we knew that we couldn't go forward with the engagement, with these things that needed to be uh, resolved. And so I
Mhm.
was, and he left. So I knew I needed to do so. I really wanted to move on as quickly as possible because I was seeing that it wasn't the right thing.
Mhm.
So I wanted to. So what really appealed to me was actually when you said get over your ex, within
Yeah.
within days, because and that was really interesting to me because I actually already knew that time is uh is is really an illusion, and that you can heal much quicker than most people expect.
Mhm. Yep.
So it appealed to me because I haven't had many experiences where I didn't have to go through grieving if somebody passed. And a lot of people, like a lot of my friends said to me, "Oh, time heals all wounds." And like I knew that there was a better way.
Mhm.
And so when I saw that you recognize that as well, that it really spoke to me. And so your practice, what you shared with me, it actually strengthened and gave a really good structure and support for similar principles that I was already working with.
Mhm.
So and it gave a lot of strength because you were there. Like you have like the most patient fiance, I think, because you call back like any hour of the day. You were always there when I called you, and weekends, evenings, whenever. And I also felt I felt like the structure of listening to a lot of the other people speak, I could see myself and really relate, and that it just gave me a lot of clarity. So that's what initially, and I gave you, I don't know if you remember this, but I I like called you because you curse a lot, right? And you tell
That's
people,
right. I do. I
but
fucking do.
yeah, but I think at the beginning when I was deciding, like, do I want to work with him? I don't know. I said something, and I said, like, maybe like I don't know if I had called it aggressive or whatever. And I remember you said, don't confuse that with being a straight shooter.
Mhm.
And then the more we talked, I could see that it was really you were taking, a strong stance to not put up with unresourceful thinking. And you helped me create boundaries and just take a stance for, not allowing certain behaviors in
Mhm.
myself and in others. And so the more I talked with you, and I just knew it was something that I needed to do, because there's no point of like dragging on a relationship that's not going anywhere.
Mhm.
And it's very common. A lot of people do that.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was my initial, you know, initial it's funny because initially I also like, I liked the, get your ex back by getting you back.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
there's a little thing in me that's like, oh, well, maybe I can get him back and everything. And by learning whatever I need to learn. But by the end, um, remember we had that discussion, and it was, I had all the communication techniques, all these great techniques to
Yep.
approach a conversation. And I really came to the understanding of, well, I don't actually think I want this anymore.
It's interesting, huh?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's amazing because you would call things that would happen, and that you'd be like, this thing happened, and then it would
Yeah.
happen. You'd be
Yeah.
like, if you do this, he may actually come back, and then that would happen.
Yep.
But the great thing was that I was so clear at that point on, what I wanted and what I would not stand for.
Mhm.
And I was just a clearer person, and a stronger person. So I was able to have great, I mean, I think of myself as a good communicator already, but this made me
Mhm.
way better, and really clear for especially this topic of relationships.
Yeah.
So I really needed it because you addressed very specifically, like
Mhm.
specifically, even though it goes way beyond relationships. You know, it really prepared me for moving forward and finding my own freedom and my own happiness, you know, which was not dependent on any single anything, you know, just finding that happiness that is within all of us, just where you have to
Awesome.
start.
You know, you gave me like, I think I think you just inadvertently gave me the title to the to this video. Are you prepared to move forward? Like, you know, it's something like that. I like that. That's really good.
Oh,
So yeah, to anyone listening here, this is not planned. We're just
no.
having a conversation. And yeah, you know, I think you were. This was a very memorable experience for me too. You know, and I think it's good to mention here because I always mention this in all the videos. Catherine, was this easy? Was this an easy program?
No, no, it's a
No.
challenge.
Yes, we had many conversations where we had to kind of regroup a little bit, and like that's okay. I mean, this was not a magic trick, correct?
Yeah, yeah. But it was really interesting because when I was following what you were saying to do,
Mm-hmm.
I was free and I felt good. And I'm
Yeah.
like walking on water. And then all of a sudden, when I like look away from what you're saying, I start sinking, you know? And
Yeah.
I could see that. And so that's the and that's why it was great to do this because it's like working with a trainer. You know, you're gonna get a better workout if you work with a trainer. It's
Of course.
just
Yeah.
it's just how it is, you know? And
That's exactly what I am. A
yeah,
different type of trainer.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that focus and so yeah, I'm really grateful that I did it, you know. And what do you say about like fear is it's not that you're not afraid, but you have the courage and do it
Yeah.
anyway.
If fear doesn't mean you're not afraid, it just means you do it anyway.
Yeah, you do it anyways.
You're like, fuck it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I felt like with my final with the conversation that I had with him. You know, after I'd done the program and I could feel the fear, but I knew that I was okay and I did
Yep.
it anyways. And I was so glad I did. And freedom came from that.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm really grateful that I did it. And it's funny because people say like oh it's expensive, but like I don't know, that's relative because what price are you really going to put on your happiness and your
Yep.
emotional well-being? And you know, I mean, I understand that like for me in my profession it was expensive, but not really if you think about
Of
what you're getting
course.
from it. So
Yeah, your whole life is going to,
yeah.
across the board, is going to really slingshot to whole other levels because you dressed everything in the core. You're, you
Mhm.
know, like again, and I put all these videos in our group, for example, and like, you know, it's not coincidence. Everyone there, like towards the end, they get promotions, big bonuses, blah, blah, blah. Everything changes because at the end of the day, you address the core, you know, Catherine. You address your
Mhm.
emotional, your ability to control your emotional states, your energy, and that's the fuel for everything you want. So is it really a coincidence that all the stuff starts to shift? No.
Yeah.
But when you consider all that, it's like it's a no-brainer. But yeah, some people just are stuck with paradigms. Unfortunately, don't serve them. But you know what? It served you, and yeah, I'm super thankful for the journey you and I had together. There were definitely, and again, for everyone listening here, this was not easy. There were definitely a few points where you and I had a few challenging conversations, and it's like, look, you really got to follow exactly what you know, because you started to veer a little bit a couple
Mhm.
times. I was like,
Yeah.
you can't do that. You have to do exactly what I give in front of you. I'm your personal trainer, essentially, like we talked about. You got to follow it. And I was so thankful. Then you did what I asked you to do. Even though we had a couple of those conversations, like, I'll give you my heart and soul, but don't make me ask me to repeat myself a million times. That's why during the program, whenever I needed you to realign you a little bit and just kind of, you know, and I always look, I'm an intense guy. That's true. But I like to think I was always very respectful, firm, but respectful. And you know, and I just had to be very clear with him. Like, look, you got to do it exactly the way it's given to you. It's all there for reasons. And I always was happy to give you the explanations you understood why. But at the end of the day, you know, the person's got to follow the process. They got to do the workout the way their trainer gave it to them. And you did it. And that was awesome. And yeah, it's really incredibly satisfying to see how great you wound up doing at the end. You know, but again, you did your part. You did your part of the co-creation. You know, this was a real workout. You did your part, and you got a fantastic reward. And the cool part is, I mean, you'll really start to appreciate this over the next several months. This will be the gift that keeps giving. How great you feel now doesn't mean you're not gonna have challenges. By the way, you know, even when I do the regular calls, always making sure it's very clear to people, like, dude, I don't get away without having challenges. I mean, like, sometimes when someone first starts a program, they talk about, oh, I'm still having a problem flipping the switch lance. I'm like, what kind of fucking switch are you talking about? I have many days where I have to do the tools, and it takes a little bit to get that momentum going, but I always get there eventually. But I'm putting myself under some kind of perfectionist measure. I enjoy being a human being, and we're always going to be a human being. But the difference is now you have control. Now you have consistency. There's no such thing I swear to God, from now to the end of time, there's no such thing as days, weeks, months on end in a fucking funk. Maybe a challenging day here and there, true, but a challenging day can still be a good day. And that's a whole different world. And the cool part is, as you continue to use do the practice process and evolve with it, you will fucking dwarf. Again, there's the curse words again. You will dwarf where you're at in even just a few months when you compare objectively how you are today. Like a muscle, you go from you start lifting 100 pounds, with lifting 100 pounds, and you go to 100 to 130. That's a pretty cool feeling to be that much stronger. But then when you get to lifting 160 for repetitions, it's like you feel like a superhero. And that's really what this is. And it never stops. That's the really cool part. So, it's unfortunate that some people will never truly, by definition, value themselves enough or love themselves enough to do what you did, which is amazing in itself. So yeah, you did fantastic. So I think maybe one last good question. This is gonna be, you answered. You had some really great stuff in here. So maybe one last question. How do you feel about your future now? How do you feel about your future now? Relationships, navigating them. And again, you know that challenges are going to happen. That is what it is. Relationships are the ultimate soul school that will never end. Doesn't end for me, won't end for you. But how do you feel about your ability to handle whatever comes your way? How do you feel about a true skill set to, no matter what happens, you're going to be good?
I feel really expectant and excited about the future. So I feel like I have a lot of clarity now, much more after the program on what I want. Like, I'm not confused about that.
Yep.
And also things I don't want, things that I will not accept. So I feel and I also feel at peace by myself. I'm not afraid. I know I'm okay by myself. I'm not I'm just I'm a happy person. I'm happy already.
Yeah.
So someone to enhance that is would be a huge blessing, but it's not like I'm not okay, until I find that. So I think that this program really focused on that. It really got behind the truth that happiness, we like to think that it's from the job or the relationship or the house or the whatever the material thing is, but we're allowing ourselves to feel happy whether it's there or not.
Yep.
And so doing this practice that you taught us, like, you can feel it even when it's not there. So it's a great celebration. I feel excited and yes, I do. I want to meet my future husband, of course, but this is worth it, because why settle? Why, I think that's why people maybe stay in relationships that they shouldn't be in, is because there's beautiful things there, but then there's things that are not working, and it's so confusing for them to manage that. I could see that on this guy's end too. So just having the clarity to honor yourself and honor what's right for you and what you want. And so I'm excited and expecting.
Good. Yeah, you should be. I will close here with this here. I would put it all on the line. I would say within 1 year maximum, probably even sooner than that. I would say within 1 year maximum, I'd put it on the line and say you'll definitely have another level as far as who you're with. I mean, I think there's no question. You in some ways, you actually remind me of there was a gentleman who graduated from this course. This point maybe about a year and a half ago. It's been a while, and I don't know if you saw his update, but it was really amazing actually. Because, and now again, I'm just going to put it out there. It's like my little prediction for the future. But it was really amazing. And when it comes true, I'm going to be even more convinced that this whole thing we call life is not even real. Like, it's just a big dream or whatever. But we'll see. But anyway, so his name is Kevin, and when him and I started working together, he was dealing with a breakup, and what made it even worse was that his ex started seeing somebody within his social circle. So not only did he have that separation, but it was in his face.
Yeah.
Really, really not good. But anyway, we did the program, and then he did a video testimonial for me after he graduated. And actually said in the video, I cut it out of the video, but he actually said in the video he was actually resuming things again to some degree. And he predicted on the video that by the end of the year they would be engaged. And he did get engaged to her about a year later. He actually posted in the group. Very cool.
Wow.
Again, these are the kind of things and you remember, by the way, you remember this very clearly. This is also great for anyone listening here. Like I made it beyond clear. This is for you and for you alone. I did not promise you it was going to happen with him or anybody.
Yeah,
I made it beyond clear. This is something you do to end that pattern permanently, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't give those false pretenses. I always tell people, like, listen, I will shift the odds in your favor if you want it, but don't be surprised if you don't want it when you're done. Yeah. Don't be surprised if you don't feel like you're worth so much more. I mean, think about it. You took yourself to a whole other level. Why would you not get someone at that level? That doesn't even make sense. So don't be surprised if you don't feel beyond worthy and know that something way greater, more aligned with what you really are deserving, lines up for you. Yeah. But some people like Kevin, and this is the part where you guys differ a little bit. He did want that second opportunity. He just felt there was things he could work on in himself. And a lot of times this program, it puts light on you and says, wow, I want these things, but I'm not bringing it to the table myself. And he realized there were some things that, he needed to work on, et cetera, et cetera. And that allowed him to realign himself. But it was very cool because in the video, he's like, yeah, by the end of the year, we'll be engaged. I'm like, okay, we'll see. And that happened.
With the girl that was seeing someone in his social?
Yep. They got back together. And now a year later, they're engaged. And he posted in the group. You can see it. Yeah. It's very cool.
Oh, that is. I'll go check it out. That's
amazing. And I have another person who graduated very recently. And again, I always tell people, like, I'm telling you, it's inevitable. You can't not get a way better level. It's just impossible. And I had someone who just graduated. She's in the group, and she not saying any names or whatever. And again, but I mean, she did a video testimonial for me too, so you might be able to figure it out. But anyway, she another breakup, many years of these patterns. And then when she graduated, she actually started seeing somebody in the group. Yeah, and now she's engaged. I mean, like, yeah, and she's doing amazing.
Group.
What's that?
I better get to that group now.
I mean, it's the group you're in. It's the group you're in.
I know.
Yeah. But I tell people, like, you can't not attract a higher level. It's impossible. Yeah. Because if you did what you did when you were here, and now you're literally there, how can people have to respond in accordance with the version you bring to the table? So, I mean, Catherine, I would say probably even 6 months, probably less. You'll meet someone and you'll realize, oh, wow, this is a whole different level. So I'm not surprised at all. I didn't think I thought when you finished, you would be like, I mean, I listen to details. And again, I try to, I'm not an oracle. So I try to give my opinion, but I was like, she's going to feel at a whole different level when she's done. So I'm not surprised at all. And you'll see, you'll track that soon enough. But the cool part is it'll be a bonus for you. You'll be like, I'm good either way. Works great. If not, whatever. And that's really where we all want to be. We're not meant to live at the mercy of our external world. That's not how we're designed. Right. We're designed to have that God power within, and God doesn't need fucking other things. So It's like, and I think Keanu Reeves actually said it best. It's like relationships become a bonus, an option, not a necessity. And that's how we're meant to live. And you get to live like that now for the rest of the end of time. And the irony is that's why you're going to attract a whole different level, because that's what people are attracted to. Mm-hmm. And that's why you're going to see the next year is going to be incredibly amazing for you.